Hi, good evening all. In this video, we're going to take a look at just how genuine was the Sabres team last year. Coming up. All right, guys, this is the question I propose. How genuine were the Buffalo Sabres last season? And people say, what do you mean genuine? Well, genuine as, was it a fluke, what we seen? Was it a surprise, or just a surprise, or a one-time thing? That we had this roster with basically a bunch of scrubs on it, which we did, and overachieved and finished 5th in the division, which this channel predicted, I might add, early in the season. You can check back and for you new folks and see, yes, I believe that we were going to finish 5th. And I had called the Sabres to finish between 71 and 74 points. I believe that's the number. And we did. We overachieved, which I believe attitude does that, guys. Attitude. Sorry, give me a sec, folks. I got to wipe my glasses because it's just me, you, and the book tonight. I wrote down a few tips there because I don't want to forget, which my brain does. All right. So, how genuine were the Sabres last year? Were we a fluke? I got 3 questions here. We're gonna break this down just a little. I'll go as quick as I can with this stuff. Were we a fluke? No, I don't think the Sabres were a fluke at all last year. I really think that was a genuine number that we finished with 32 wins, 39 losses. I think finishing even in the same stratosphere of within 10 wins and losses was just amazing when you consider what Granato had to deal with. When, I mean, let's face it, guys, before the season started, we had the Jack Eichel thing hanging over our head like there was no tomorrow, right? So we had that hanging over our head. We had the question marks at centerman. Now we don't have Jack. What are we going to do? And in comes our young man called Tage Thompson and hit more goals last year than Jack Eichel ever did in his career. Is he better than Jack Eichel? I'm not saying that. That would be ludicrous for me to say that. But he just might turn out to be, in years from now, when we look back, we might look at this and say, he had a better career than Jack Eichel. Like he just might. I really believe Jack Eichel's his own worst enemy, but they'll have to figure that out over in Vegas right now. So I don't believe it was a fluke. I think winning all those big games, the RJ games, the Vegas game, of course the Heritage game. I mean, we can look. The last game of the year, RJ's last call. We can at the 4-0 comeback in Chicago. We know the big games. There was no fluke about that. There was no fluke. The only thing, if you want to put like a blotch on it, is we won the last game of the year in overtime. We didn't win it in regulation. We won all those other games in regulation. No fluke about that. Not when you win in regulation. The boys showed some genuine signs last year that they're a team on the rise. Okay, the second question, has the culture changed? Yes or no? I think it's easy right now to say yes. And sometimes, guys, I think when it's that easy to say yes, you gotta have your eyes open still. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say I'm not 100% sold on it yet. And yes, I know last year I told you guys millions of times the culture's changed. It has, but this is a different year. Okay, this is a fresh start again. There's more pressure on the team now. There's more expectation. There's more demand. They got to win the fans back, and they have to show ownership that they need to invest into the team, that they are for real and they are here to stay. This bunch together, that let us prove ourselves to you, and you can help us basically sign players or whatever way you want to go with this. So I think really when you look at it, yes, there's been a culture change, absolutely. With no doubt there's been a culture change. And as I suspected, it started the minute we got rid of some of these guys on this team. And you know what? I was a Risto fan, guys. I was. This channel won't lie to you. I'm a big Risto fan. I thought he carried the workload for years in the hitting department on this team when there was nobody there to back him up. I mean, we had one defenseman basically doing all the work, it felt like. That's how it felt to this guy anyway. But, you know, getting rid of Jack, getting rid of Sam, moving those guys, moving the long faces, and bringing in some new blood, new outlook, a fresh new feeling to the team. And, you know, we got to credit our duo of Adams and Granato for that, because they have taken this team not too long ago, guys, from an 18-game losing streak. Not too long ago, okay? We were in that horrible losing streak, and we survived it. As you guys know, we came back, won that game against Philadelphia, and it started, I believe, with that text message that Okposo sent Granato, saying we're going to win next game. You know, we're going to win next game, and they did. So it kind of started from that day on. That's where I believe, guys, the Jack Eichel divorce happened. The minute we snapped that 18-game losing streak, this franchise has been forever changed. No, we're not a winning team yet, and I say yet. And the last question, can we attract top NHL players? I think the answer to this is yes. I actually believe that we can now, because this, if anything, players can tell out in this league is not, if they can't tell, they're going to get the word of mouth around the league, because, guys, there is, there is an underworld that happens in the NHL of players. They go out, they get drunk together, they talk, the word gets around. Everybody knows who's doing stupid stuff on the side, and this is why the Sabres wouldn't go near a guy like Evander Kane with a 10-foot pole, because they know it's a risk. It would be a high risk bringing this guy back. It's not worth it. And if he is dreaming, this guy, if he thinks he's going to get like a 7-8 year deal somewhere, you know, the word's out, he's trouble. So, you know, as good as sometimes a player is, you don't want to bring that into your team, and that will attract players when they know that you are trying to take out the fungus of your team and clean everything out and get everything on the right track, everything together, everything organized, and everything mopped up, basically, if you want to call it that. Mop it up. Mop up the wreckage of the past. Move on, move forward, get the team going. Because right now, guys, this is a team on the rise. And this is, for the first time, I'm saying that, probably in years. You know, I honestly believe this is a team on the rise now. We are going to have, these kids are going to be another year older, bigger, and stronger next year. And don't forget, we got some guys that will be coming up to take some roster spots, as we know. And all we have to do now, really, I believe, sign a legitimate goalie, get him in here, and let's get this team going. Let's really get this team going this year, and maybe surprise the league this year, and be at the half, maybe 12 games over 500, and then everybody's talking about the Sabres like, my goodness, like they're really doing something over there for real now, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at with this stuff, guys. The question, how genuine were the Sabres last year? Yes, I believe it was no fluke. I don't believe it was a fluke at all, what we've seen. You can't fool a fan base like Buffalo fans, and I'm not just saying it because I'm one of them. But we're damn smart fans. We are. We've been around forever. We're smart fans. We understand how the game is played. We understand how the games are won. We understand the trenches. We understand all these things. We see it. You know, I watch fans talking about their other teams, and they don't even identify with their weaknesses. And Toronto fans are the worst for that, to be honest. Some Toronto fans are very open-minded. Things they got to fix over there. But when you mess around with the capital, the money, the way they have over there, you're begging for long-term problems. You are. You're begging for long-term problems. Has the culture changed? I think that will be answered very soon. Could we come struggling out of the gate? Yes, we could. We could come struggling out of the gate and have to learn one more lesson before we really put things into gear. It could happen, or it could not. And can we attract top NHL players? These were the three things that I just kind of came up with, guys. Yes, I think we can attract top NHL players now. I think a lot of players, if their agents would say to them, listen, Buffalo's placed an offer, they wouldn't say, oh no, they wouldn't say that. They'd say, what's the offer? Okay, what do you think? Can we get better? And the guy will say, probably not. This is a fair offer. And, you know, and then he'll name out all the young players on the team, which the league knows about anyway, guys. They do. So just something to think about, something I wanted to talk about. I got some more videos coming your way. I don't know how I'm going to get them up tonight on time. It's bordering 10 o'clock right now, guys. I couldn't get started till right now, though. I just got in. So, all right, folks. See you in the next one.